Most folks in your industry, they think very rationally. They treat humans as, like economists would treat humans, which, take normal decisions. No, they don't. Like humans are just irrational.
But
all of them.
But the bit that I get transfixed on, and what most of us would be, is the unique positioning or proposition, how we stand out. But actually having that distinctive brand is probably a stronger weapon to cut through other PPC managers, to use a weird metaphor.
But you talked about it, we all, I come from a scientific background. Like I studied mechanical engineering and I like my numbers and shit like that. So I understand where we're all coming from here. Like we like the reports and whatever, but definitely the distinctive brand is really leaning on the irrational side of human beings. And it doesn't mean much, it's not meaningful. It's not purpose led. It's literally just leaning on the way people remember and notice stuff, which is about, stuff that are different are more noticed. I know it sounds very, very obvious, but like, that's it. So by leaning on that, you have an advantage because most folks in your industry, exactly as I said, do not think this way. They think very rationally. They treat humans as, like economists would treat humans, which, take normal decisions. No, they don't. Like humans are just irrational and you need to lean on that. So yeah, that's usually, to answer your question, I had to go back to it. That's usually the highest level because so very few understand and do it.
Yeah, I like that. I think just considering that could help a lot of people here, and also the triggers. So in the third part of the canvas, the trigger. I mean, one of the simplest things you could do is every single lead that's come to you in the past 6, 12 months or whatever, or every person you've spoken to, just think back and write a note of what triggered why they came to you in the first place. Because I've never really considered that. And those triggers they're not pain points, are they? They are literally a response to a situation that people find themselves in. And there will be multiple triggers that you could use to literally call people out.
So be careful when you ask yourself that question about clients. Usually they would start with the problem that just happened, right? So usually they wouldn't go that far back in time. So it's up to you to really ask the specific question. But okay, you want to bring back Google Ads in-house, but what led to that, right? Really asking acting like a journalist to uncover the things that led to that, the events. And then you need to guess. Like, again, intuition is important here. People are going to lie to you and are going to forget shit. So you also need to develop an intuition about what make people act. And a lot of it is the irrational, social, emotional type of triggers. So like, quick example, for Hotjar, I used to work for them. One of the key trigger for us was our website conversions have dropped and they are on Google Analytics usually, right? And there's quite a few steps after to pick Hotjar, but the core trigger, the biggest one was this one. And guess what? We built entire campaigns around Google Analytics. The entire positioning became about, we show you what people rated on your website, unlike traditional web analytics. And it worked really well. Just because we thought of trigger. I worked with a shampoo company years ago, serving Latinas in particular. One of the core trigger was when the weather becomes more humid, and they're planning to go somewhere like an event or whatever, and they're with friends. That's usually when they think of shampoo, they think of controlling their hair. Again, sounds obvious, but like that helps us to understand that the best type of customers were living in California and Florida in particular, because the weather is more humid there than anywhere else in the US. It's those things where in retrospect, it sounds fucking obvious, but trust me, the power is, going through that. Like, I bought that very microphone because I leaned on my irrational fucking brain telling me you need to sound like Joe Rogan, even though I hate the guy. But I researched the mic he was using, and I'm using the same because I wanted to have the same type of voice. So it started by listening to a fucking podcast of his. So now if you're sure the company and you want to sell a microphone, guess where you need to advertise? On podcasts, and say, hey, podcast of guests that have very good voice, and say, do you want to sound like him? It feels so easy now. You know exactly what to say. And that's why the specificity is important, like for triggers. Last example. solar panel company I also work with for my program. One of the core trigger was, oh shit, electricity prices are going up. Where they were in that context, watching the news, and they were with their partner. Guess where you should be as well, and what type of stuff could you say, and what is the monster here? The monster is the greedy corporations putting the fucking electricity price up. That's it. The only thing you need to say is that, and you are the answer to that. And your point of view could be around that and all of that. You can see how powerful it becomes when you understand triggers and not just problem and solution.